Jesus our Christ. Amen.
Amen. Now we'll have the pledge of allegiance to our flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, now roll call. To my right,
Donald Collins.
Larry High.
J.B. Loring.
Joe Jones.
Next on the agenda, the minutes. Have you all had a chance to review the minutes? If so, if there's any additions, deletions, if not, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
Mr. Loring, recall we do have one change to the administrative staff that's listed.
I'm sorry.
There's one change to the administrative staff that we will make, and we'll have them for you to sign next month.
Okay. Thank you. Now, if there's no other deletions or additions, we'll entertain a motion.
A motion that we accept the minutes.
A second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Minutes approved. Next, to appear before the board, our assistant commissioner. And I would say Bill
Giannini.
Giannini.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You can just call me.
I didn't want to mess up right in the beginning.
We have a new system.
I have
Fine, thank you.
Yes, literally. Still repairing, improving processes in the board office. I think we are well on our way.
He is the parking.
You are always, you guys do not get.
Yeah.
I think I'm probably the only one. Y'all ride the bus, don't you?
Well, we
No, we
basically
basically
ride
ride
with Joe.
with
So,
Joe.
Yeah,
Okay.
So we kind of
So we
carpool a
just
little
Probably
bit.
two
We carpool.
places.
Yeah.
Yeah, we only need two.
Only like two.
Well, maybe three. What
I don't know
what
about Ralph.
Ralph.
Yeah.
Ralph.
He might hitchhike again. I don't
Yeah.
know.
You let me know, we'll make sure that happens.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Give me a hard one.
Yeah.
Anything else? You guys have any other concerns, questions about it?
Thank you.
We appreciate you coming before the board and
Yes.
updating us and just visiting.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda will be the administrative report.
Mr. President, before we do the administrative report, I'd like to introduce to you your new staff attorney, Mr. Christopher Whitaker. He has been with the department for a little over 3 years and has worked with a number of other boards, and we are pleased to have him working with your board now. So.
Great, thank you. Chris, would you like to say a few words?
No, just,
That's
first-
good, thank you.
I can make some up. No, first meeting, pleasure to be here, good to be working with you folks, and echo the assistant commissioner's sentiments. You know, try to help any way I can and learn as much as I can along the way. So that's really it. I'm ready to go to work.
Glad to have you with us, Chris. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. The first item we have today is a school application from Genesis Career College of Lebanon, and they are requesting a name change. So this name change is submitted for your approval. They'll be changing it from Genesis Career College of Lebanon to Genesis Career College.
Trying to get my computer working. You can imagine a barber working a computer.
Yep.
It just went off. Also.
Okay.
That's all right. I don't need it. We can go. Okay, now we're on school application.
Yes.
Okay. Now we'll proceed with school application.
Okay. The first application you have before you today is Genesis Career College of Lebanon, and they're requesting a name change to Genesis Career College.
Okay. We have a motion.
So basically, they just want to change the name of the school.
Sir.
See nothing wrong with that.
Because everything's in order. Okay, very good. I'd like to make the motion that we approve the name change.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Motion carried.
Second application before you today is My Three Sons Barber College. It is to be located at 1630 Buchanan Street, Nashville, Tennessee. This will be a new school. The school owners are listed as Jeffrey Moore and Jerome Moore. The completed application, fee, and floor plan have been submitted for your review and approval. The inspector will be Barbara Hendricks, and we will need the board to select a board member to inspect.
All right, everything else is in order. Now,
Yep, that's Ralph district, right? Is that Ralph district? To inspect.
I'm sorry, Ralph will not be able to inspect.
Oh, you need to
He's a school-
inspect it.
School.
Would you like someone to inspect it today? You're not
Not
ready
today.
for the
You're
day.
not ready
Not
today.
today.
Oh, wait, not today.
Not today. Okay.
Okay.
I guess who's
you're the closest,
I
probably.
am the closest. All right, I can inspect it then. The school owner, is he here? Okay, we need to set up a date for inspection.
Okay. We'll have a motion for approval or disapproval. Need a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve school.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'd second it.
We have a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carried.
Third school item before you today is Paul Mitchell School, and they are requesting to add a barbering program alongside their cosmetology program. And Mr. My apologies. I'm so sorry. Mr. Johnson is here from Paul Mitchell.
He is here
Okay.
to ask about the location. We have not yet processed the application, so we're not asking you to approve the application today.
All right.
Good morning.
We would like to and I do have a floor plan that we submitted. I think we can track down where the application is processed. But I can show you what this would look like to have the barber program in the same facility, however, totally exclusive. Thousand per foot of the building, roughly 4,000.
If I understand you have both cosmetology as well as barbering going on under the same roof.
Under the same roof, yes.
Okay, would there be something that would separate them both?
If you look at that layout shows the barbering program, you see a front entrance as well as a back entrance for this barbering side.
The only concern I have is students have a tendency to want to wander in other areas and they begin to do work. For instance, you may have someone under the Barber program, they may try to go over and do some work under the cosmetology program, and that's my concern.
And that would be a concern for us, because we do understand the need for the separate. From one side to the other, you can't. Away.
But we just really would not like for you to be caught up in violations by them being under the same roof.
I understand, I
Right.
understand that.
Okay.
I mean, I look at this similarly if we were in a strip mall, that you have two programs that could be, because they're totally separated, that would be the same concept. With it, if you were in a mall location, other program.
According to this floor plan, I don't see a separation. I see it's like it's on the, yeah, come and explain this stuff here.
When I say-
Look like it's on this, I'm sorry. You're right. Look like it's on the one floor. And this will be the school and the barber.
This is just the barbering program,
Just the barber.
strictly barbering.
Okay, now where's the cosmetology?
It's the rest of the building. You don't get the rest
Oh,
of the building.
okay.
Yeah, this is, I
So-
just laid
so
out-
this is barbering
This is just
only.
barbering, so it's got
And-
its own front entrance.
Right.
Where you go into the clinic floor, we've got a take-home area with dispensary, laundry
Okay.
facilities.
So the
and-
cosmetology along
Yeah.
here. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Yes.
understand.
Yes.
Oh, I understand. That's better. Cosmetology located right over here. So that's good.
About 14,000 more square.
There'll be a separation.
Appears to be a nice design.
Yeah.
And we got 300 or so parking spaces, so we won't have.
Yeah, look like it is. One other question. The entrance to the cosmetology, could you show me what it is? I know it's not drawn out on it. Could you show me the entrance on the cosmetology? It'd be located
If I
right
had
there.
it, it'd be right here. There's a
It'll be-
double door
it'll be
entrance.
right there.
It's over here, yeah.
Okay.
It's got
Okay.
an awning and everything on that side.
Is this a separate building?
It's one big building.
One big building.
It's one big rectangular building.
Uh-huh.
But everybody will be under the same
Right.
roof.
Under the same
Yeah.
roof.
Right.
But it's not a strip center or a shopping center or anything like
No,
that?
sir. It's a standalone building that would just be public to the school.
Yes.
Operating. No problem. I thought they were.
That was what we wanted to do. Obviously, under the building.
Yes. But that would definitely need to be, that's my concern, as
Oh,
long as
okay.
things are separated, although it will be under one roof.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay. I would have to definitely see it. Yeah, okay.
And our conference, we're looking soon for August.
Good.
Around the 1st of August.
Good.
We're not talking in the next month.
Good.
Okay.
It looks,
It looks good.
it looks very good. It's very good.
We'll be ready when you are.
Yes, sir.
It's very good.
Appreciate you
Congratulations.
coming before the board.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes.
Next.
Attorney Whitaker.
Not exactly. Okay.
Okay, we will come back to that item. My apologies. The next item before you will be the applications for examination. Following applications for examination, Randy Beard, Yukanda Bryant, Daryl Cash, Brittany Carson, Louis Cody, Clint Davis, Leon Dawson, Ronald DeBerry, Kevin Douglas, Alondro Guiana, Sean Gibson, Jamie Hicks, Corey Hayden, Chris Haley, Terry Jones, Kendrick McGee, Devin Magsby, William O'Neill, Marcus Pierce, Christopher Peary, Derek Roberts, Keith Rogers, and Marlon Moore. All of these applicants have felonies. The required information has been submitted to the board, including the disclosure from the student and a letter for examination and recommendation are included in your packet.
Okay. I presume this is the same as we've had in the past.
We had in the past.
So,
Can I ask a question?
yes.
Certainly, Mr. Collins. Oh, Mr. Collins, sorry.
Mr. Beard, is there a letter from the school from him? Okay. I see the offenses, but it moved right on over to Bryant. I don't see a letter from the school on him.
From Mr. Beard or
Yes.
Mr. Bryant?
Mr. Beard, the first one,
Yes, sir.
Randy Beard.
And I do not see that in my documentation either.
Okay. Well, we might want to set him out
Okay.
until we
absolutely.
get some information from the school on him. Okay? It's
Certainly.
just, that would be my recommendation to the board.
I
We
agree.
could set him out until we get a letter from the school on him.
Okay.
We'll-
Are you ready to,
Yeah.
for a motion
Yeah, but we-
excluding one?
Excluding one, but we need to do this the same way we have did in the past.
Yes.
We will put them under a 2-year probation. And that'd be my recommendation, because that's basically how we have did all felonies.
Yes, sir.
Is that a motion?
That's a motion, I'd like to make a motion.
And you want to exclude
Exclude Mr. Beard
Mr. Beard?
until he gets some more information to the board.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'd second it.
We have a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Motion carried. We're ready for reciprocity.
Yes, sir. You have one application for reciprocity. This comes from Joanne Sides. It is presented for your approval. The applicant received 1,296 hours of instruction in the Barber curriculum from Belleville State Community College / Northwest Community College in Alabama. And she is seeking reciprocity.
Okay, I believe the hours are a little short of our
Yes, sir.
requirement,
What was her total hours?
1,200 and
1,200.
something.
1,296 hours.
The state of Tennessee require 1,500 hours.
Yes, sir.
State of
Alabama.
Alabama.
I don't know, they don't have a board in Alabama.
They don't have a
I
board in
believe.
Alabama.
Yeah.
No, they do
Best
not.
thing there is I-65 North.
You're not in
Has anybody got a gun on them? That thing keeps going off.
We've contacted IS and we're asking them to come down to see what might be causing that or if they could turn something down. We're still getting used to our new system.
Not a metal detector, is it? Okay.
No, sir.
All right. You've heard the outline for the reciprocity. Do you have a motion?
I don't see how we can pass this.
Well, you can, some of the options are that you could request that she get the hours that you would require, or she perhaps take the exam. If she, sometimes if they pass the exam, then you may feel that she's capable. So you could require her to get additional hours, or you could require her to take the exam, or both, or neither. Well, you need to talk it over, excuse me, because of the Open Meetings Act, you have to talk it
Right.
over on the record.
Right.
Okay.
I would recommend that she would take the exam. That'd just be my recommendation, and see how. I mean, she has like almost.
You want practical and theory? or-
Right, both, right.
Okay.
To see how far along she is. If she passes the exam, then that's fine. If she does not, then that moves us into another area, and we know rather than
school
send her
some
back,
more.
right.
Yeah.
But, I mean, she has almost 1,200 hours here, right? Exactly. So we're only 300 hours short. So
Yeah.
that would be my recommendation.
Yeah.
How about a motion?
Well, then, I feel like we might open up a can of worms if we do it like that, because people can easily go to another state and get 1,200 hours and basically do the same thing. So I really don't know. I don't know if we should take that step or not. I don't know. I don't feel totally comfortable with that.
Well, if they take and pass the exam, it depends, I guess, on what confidence you have in your barber exam, whether that's an indicator if people are,
Answer that exam.
But I still say, if I go to the state of Alabama and get 1,200 hours, I can do the same thing, come to the state, pass the state test, and be licensed with only 1,200 hours, which we require 1,500 hours. So, I don't know, we might be opening up a can of worms.
up to your discretion, so.
And I do understand what you're saying, because if the state of Tennessee requires 1,500 hours, and a person go and take the practicals, whether it's a theory, and they pass it, okay, then of course they will get their license. I mean, we have students who have completed 1,500 hours and don't pass the exam.
So she's already licensed in the state of Alabama. My recommendation would be for her to get the other remaining hours and be granted a Tennessee license. That would be my recommendation.
Without taking the exam?
About her being already, now do they give her an exam in Alabama? You don't know?
I'm not sure. My apologies.
See, that's-
Well, let's see if we can clarify this. You're saying take the additional, get the additional schooling hours.
Right.
And then apply for reciprocity.
Right.
And,
That's the only way I could see it.
And then the attorney's question is, if she applies for reciprocity, does she have to take the theory and practical exam to be
Well,
qualified?
she's already made the application for reciprocity, so what you're deciding now is whether you're gonna accept her application as it is, or if you're gonna add additional requirements to it. So she wouldn't be applying again, she would just simply do whatever it is you require her to do.
Then, what about taking the exam? Do you want it or not?
I would say no.
Okay.
Her being already-
If they get the additional hours,
Just the
okay,
additional
then
hours.
put that in a motion.
Okay, in any area of the, if she gets it, if you only require her to get additional hours, she can get additional hours in any area that should,
For the hours.
Applying
No.
for master barber?
No, just reciprocity.
I mean, she,
for a license,
A license to
For
be a
a
master
license
barber.
yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it would probably be in half practical and half theory, just for her to get the remaining of her hours.
To confirm, she is seeking a master barber license.
but I would think just whatever the school, wherever she go to get the additional hours, they'll break it down, so many hours in theory and so many hours in the
practical.
classroom, as long as she get 300 more hours in the school. And then she already had applied for reciprocity, so I would think she would want her license.
So as long as she gets, what you're saying is as long as she gets 300 more hours, her application
I don't
would be
believe it's
granted.
quite 300, is it?
Well,
The required
Well,
number.
the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, the difference.
She'll require 204 hours.
204 hours. Okay.
That would take very long.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that she reattend school and get her 200 and whatever hours she needs to bring it up to 1,500 hours.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Motion carried. Now, do we have any additional apps for reciprocity?
No, sir, that was the only one.
Okay, next is the seminar extension request.
Yes, sir. Your first one today is Sharita Eskridge. Miss Eskridge was to attend the seminar in 2011, and she is requesting an extension due to lack of funds. She was unable to pay for the seminar in 2011. She has provided a letter describing her situation and her intentions to attend a seminar in 2013. It's included in your documents, if you'd like to review her letter.
Does the letter detail her reasons? Is it, does it sound like it?
Well, if I might, Ms. Estridge is from Memphis, and I know her personally. And she was in a real serious accident. Matter of fact, she almost lost her life. And I didn't know that this was coming up. I know she had called me about it, so I may excuse myself from this one, if I need to.
You don't need
Okay,
to on
right.
something like this.
Yes,
We'll need
actually,
to.
Yeah, I need to excuse
Since you
myself.
personally know.
Right, because see, I know
Yeah.
this case personally, so right. So
Yeah.
I will excuse myself.
And she is due to be at the seminar in 2013, right? She is due to be in 2013. Is that correct?
She was due in 2011, and she's agreed to take the 2013.
Okay, I see.
She was supposed to attend a seminar in 11 or 12.
her letter's in your packet if you wanted to look at it.
Now,
But she did not send in a reason. She didn't say why.
No, sir, she did not provide any other information other than at the time she was unable to pay for the seminar.
well,
And
we
that
have
she
a
is
board
preparing-
member that's now excused himself that has given the reasons that he knows personally, so I think that'd be sufficient.
I totally agree.
Okay, we need a motion.
I would like to make a motion that this young lady be extended her, to go to the seminar. I would like to grant that.
We have a motion and we have a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, motion carried. Now, miscellaneous.
No, sir, we have one additional
Oh, I'm sorry.
seminar extension request. Pamela Swatter provided a letter saying that she was unable to attend a seminar due to health issues. And there's also a letter from her physician within your packet.
All right. Do we have a motion?
I can make a motion that she be granted hers also. By her
Yeah.
having a letter, document from her physician, I see no reason why we shouldn't pass.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second it.
We have a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, motion carried. Now, I won't jump the gun this time. Miscellaneous.
Yes, sir. Miscellaneous.
Okay.
The first miscellaneous item before you today is the University of Tennessee has made a request to have their 2013 teacher seminar approved. The seminar presenters, subjects, and date were presented for approval by the Cosmetology Board at their meeting held on February 4th, 2013. The university is requesting the same approval from the Barber Board. The seminar will be held at the University of Tennessee July 21st and 22nd of 2013.
I attend that seminar all the time, and that's a great seminar. I mean, we really, really need that. I would like to see Barber and cosmetology seminar. I would like to see barbers more involved. As you know, it's mostly cosmetologists, but there are some barbers. But I think we need more barber involvement in that seminar. And if you could, I would like you to submit them a letter saying that we would like to see a little more barber feeling. It's a great seminar.
Is that UT Knoxville,
UT Knoxville.
Chattanooga, Martin? No.
Knoxville, Tennessee.
Okay, Knoxville.
Yeah.
Last year it was held in Memphis, and it was a great seminar in Memphis. And they had a great class on barber.
Yeah.
But I agree it was not enough.
Yeah. But these are two different seminars, which yours was in Memphis. This one is held in Knoxville every year. Yeah.
You need a motion on that?
Yes, please.
Okay, we need a motion.
I motion that we approve the seminar. That's it.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
We have a second. Any further discussion?
Jones? Okay.
If not, all in favor say
Yeah,
aye.
that's two different seminars.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, motion carried.
The next item before you is from Wayne Goodwin, and he is requesting that you waive his barber license late fee due to illness. And there's documentation on your iPads regarding.
Do you have evidence such as a doctor's report or?
Yes, sir. There is a letter from his doctor stating that he's been under his care since March of 2011.
That is on your iPad, too.
Well, mine's not working again,
Oh.
so I don't need it. Joe probably leaned on it.
He's asking for a waiver on his fees,
Yes,
his
sir.
late fees, to renew his license for 2012 or 2013. 2012.
His expiration date was 7/31 of 2012.
I see where his doctor only said Mr. Wayne Goodman has been under my care since March 21st, 2011. If the doctor could go into more details, we all
I agree.
probably is under doctor care, but if the doctor could give us a better statement of his illness, maybe we could go along with him. Well, I think we need a little more information from his doctor.
Certainly, we can make that request.
Yes, we need to make that request. That we need more information from his doctor concerning his condition.
We'll need a motion stating that you wish to defer and
I can make a
request.
motion that we have to have more documents from his doctor concerning his illness.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, motion carried.
Last item, sorry, not the last item, but the next item is a request for certification of a master barber's hours from Missouri. These are expired hours. There is an affidavit of training for Mrs. Michelle Miller included in your packet. She attended Hairstyling Academy of Missouri from February 2006 to February 2007 and received 1,000 hours in barber training.
Does she have any documentation on what the hours specifically was in? Like particularly, was it in shampooing or cutting or hygiene, anything like that? She don't have any documentation on that?
This is the only document that I was provided. We can request that information from Ms. Miller if you'd like to see a breakdown of what her
I would
1,000
like
hours
to
consist
have a
of.
breakdown of what these hours represent. I mean, she could say, she may have the 1,000 hours. I just like to know what they're in.
Certainly, of course, we will need a motion.
Yeah, put that in a motion.
I like the motion that if we can get more information concerning the 1,000 hours that she do have in terms of what they're in, what classes she took, before we can move, I would suggest before we can move further.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Yes, sir.
We have a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, motion carried.
Final miscellaneous item you have before you is from Tammy McIntyre. She is requesting the reinstatement of her master barber's license. Ms. McIntyre placed her license into retirement in 2009 due to illness, which she thought would permanently prevent her from working as a barber. She has since recovered from the illness and is requesting that she be allowed to reinstate her license without having to retest. The laws and rules currently require anyone who retires before age 65 to have to retest in order to have her license reinstated, or their license reinstated.
That's clear.
It's clear.
Yeah.
Need a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that she retest by the state law.
So it's a motion to deny her
To
request.
deny.
Now the request
And
and tell her
request.
she needs to retest.
Retest.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any further any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, motion carried.
Last item on the administrative report is the consent orders that have been paid through February 2013. It is an amount of $2,000, and you have a sheet detailing the payments included on your iPads.
Do we need to approve that?
Yes,
With a
sir.
motion?
Yes, please.
Okay, we need a motion then.
I so move.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
I second it.
We have a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Motion carried.
I will turn it over to Attorney Whitaker.
Okay, before we go into the legal report, under miscellaneous, there's a gentleman that would like to say a few words to the board.
Yeah, we know.
I think we will be permanent here, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All future meetings will be held here.
I certainly don't want to be that for things. Because of the confusion. I can assure you. My real concern. That's all she does, 5 days. Out of the scope. Clientele.
What is our status as of right now about pedicuring and barbers?
If I'm not mistaken, didn't it fall under it fell up under the rules and regulations that's already in place, didn't it?
Well, being that it fell under the rules and regulations
Yeah.
that are already in place, it's still able to be done. The
It's a
only
gray
thing,
area
only thing
in
that
there
we've seen
somewhere.
is like
An
a posting on
ambiguity
it.
in the write-up or something?
Yeah, there's the only posting that we've seen has been on the website, just saying that the barber does not consider pedicuring in the scope. The laws still read the same on the website. You still have the
Voted on
sanitation.
that.
I think
Didn't
we
we?
did. I think we did.
Yes,
Yeah, we did.
We did.
And we'd have to.
More than once.
Yeah, I know.
Then as it stands right now, pedicuring is not under the barber.
So yes.
Okay.
That's where my concern is.
And so we'd have to take this up and again, under discussion and try to make or either let it remain the same or change it.
I guess if I could finish, my concern is that because of there being a misunderstanding, at least in the laws and rules that you all post and what schools are assuming and barbers are assuming that they're able to do and not able to do because of the way it reads. Previous attorneys we've spoke with said that was the problem. You all have to change the rules and laws in order for it to be understanding to where you all can say we can't do it, right? Those are the sanitation laws that are in there about pedicure spas and the fact that it says manicure and nail care. And there's some confusion. So I guess what I'm saying is let me as a school owner and the other school owners take the brunt of what we have to do to replace that business and education from here on out. But please don't penalize the thousands of barbers that are already out there practicing and are doing a fine job at it. They're doing pedicures very well. I would hate to see them lose the opportunity for that income that they're used to, that just like all of us were kind of in a unknowing position that we weren't able to do it. That was even this discussion with you all in the beginning that we had. So my hope is that you all would have an understanding for those people and at least allow there to be a grandfather clause of some sort to allow people licensed to a certain date, at least maybe January 1 of this year, but allow the opportunity for those people that have that business to keep that business and not take it away from them.
As of right now, then, I want to make sure that I'm clear. You can't do any pedicuring in a barber shop. Is that right?
If I understand the meeting we had, during that meeting, it was a gray area concerning the laws that's already established, and the board took the position that we would have to study more before we make a final decision, and we took the position that we would just say, well, no pedicure will be done, period, until we finalize our decision on it, and obviously we have not. I do sympathize with you, and I commend you on your eagerness to get this done. I don't know. We need to reopen it and review it.
And I don't even know if that would be necessary from the standpoint that you all hold. I think from a law standpoint, the barbers that are out there now that are licensed are still kind of covered in the law section.
Exactly.
So they're safe.
Exactly.
Even though I know that you all don't acknowledge it, but under the scope of the laws and
It's
rules,
still safe, right?
they're still safe
Right.
to practice that. So if you're still reviewing it, then great, and nothing has been set forth yet. I would beg you to please think about the ones that are already licensed and already practicing pedicuring, and not to take that away from them. Let us as school owners figure out what we've got to do. We'll take that out. Let us deal with that. But I hate to penalize the people that have already been licensed and are practicing out there.
Okay, my suggestion is that we each study this over the next 30 days until our next meeting, and then at our next board meeting, we'll have a discussion and come to a consensus of what we want to do.
Mr. President, if I may, just for the board's clarification, based on your prior vote, what is currently on the Barber Board website is a statement that says the scope of the practice for barbering in Tennessee does not include pedicuring. So
And
that's
that's
how
the
it
way I
stands right
remembered
now.
it, yes. So even though it might be under discussion, there was a final vote on that. Now, if the board, if you desire to take this up again, my suggestion would be that we each think about it and delve into it over the next month, and at our next meeting, we'll go into a full-blown discussion and see what we can come up with. If that's suggestion.
Do we have a copy of how the law reads in terms of that? Did we all receive a copy of that? How the law reads in terms of pedicuring?
Not sure if I understand. I've got a copy of the statute
Yeah,
here.
the statute, yeah.
Which I can share with you.
With that statute, is that just a little ambiguous to let us go either way?
The way the statute reads, it says it's TCA section 62.3.105. It says anyone or any combination of the following practices when done for payment, directly or indirectly or without payment for the public generally, constitute the practice of barbering. And then if you go down to subsection 8, it says manicuring and nail care. I think that's the part
Pedicuring
that's
is
an
not
issue.
is not in the statute, is it?
The word pedicuring. is
Right.
not, you know.
Yeah. Now,
But still being nail care where's the confusion. If you're saying if you're separating manicuring
Right,
and
yeah.
nail care, that confusion can easily be taken
that's right.
as
Okay, what do
nails
you
are on the
think about,
feet too.
Taking this under advisement, and while we're at home, delve into it as much as possible, and at our next meeting we'll discuss it and then make a decision. And we have that right under statutory law. Yeah.
Could I beg you to get a copy of that?
Oh, absolutely. I'll
Okay,
be glad to
thank
send one to you.
Okay, thank you.
I think the other confusion was in the sanitation laws. I think you all had planned on changing that as well. I think in the August meeting, in the minutes, you all have to wait until the next review where you can change it. But there is a sanitation law about pedicure spas, which was another thing that misled us to believe that we could. Again, I really don't want to keep beating this dead horse, guys. I'd like to come up and address you for something else, and talk to you about other things that we can do to improve the barbering system. But what I want to be sure is that if you do change the law, at least have a little sympathy for the people that are
We can't change the law, but
or the statute
under
or
the statute, maybe we can make some. If it's ambiguous, maybe we can make some changes that wouldn't be considered changing the law. It'd just be clarifying the law. Okay.
But we have your name and where you're from for the record.
Ryan Hurd, Hurd. I'm from Shear Academy in Crossville.
Thank you so much.
I'll be going.
Closed, or I'd say stop. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you
Mr.
for appearing. Now, is that agreeable with the board that we do that?
Yes, I
Yeah.
think so. We need to look
Okay, yeah,
We'll look into it.
all right.
Discuss our next meeting.
Now, we're ready for the legal report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before we get into the actual case report, I do have a miscellaneous item that's kind of more like what you guys have been doing for the last little while, so I'd like to hand that out. This is a proposed floor plan for a barber shop within an Olympus gym location. This was faxed to the attention of Ms. Powers, and she handed it off to me to bring before the board today. And with your permission, I'd like to distribute copies for your review.
Thank
My preliminary review of the statute doesn't indicate that there's any prohibition against having a barber shop in a gym so long as it's compliant with, the other applicable laws. But at the same time, this is not something that, at least by my understanding, that we see every day. So I figured it'd be better to get the board to look at it, and if you have any questions or concerns, address them on the front end rather than to tell this person it's okay and then they have to go do a bunch of stuff afterward.
Is that it's kind of wide open for whatever you want to lift weights or get your hair cut or go to the bathroom.
That could be just their business plan, make it kind of a one-stop shop, come in
Yeah.
and get a workout and then get your hair cut and then go.
Is there something legally or on a statute or something that a barber shop had to be something concerning the location of it or something? I remember years ago reading something like that. There's no restrictions on where you can put a shop, a barber shop? I thought there were.
I'd like to give us just 1 second to
Okay.
check
I
the
thought
statute book here to make sure.
years ago, I remember you could not open a shop just anywhere. I don't know if y'all remember.
Well, it's
that.
got, I thought it had to be walled off, its own, and not wide open.
Never anything like that. I thought you just couldn't open a shop anywhere. I could be wrong though. I don't know.
Mr. President, if we may, we might want to revisit this and re-present it to you next month, just to be sure.
Okay.
We need to take a good look at the law and rules, make sure that, so that we can answer Mr. Collins' question.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Now, legal report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Be on your iPad, I believe we have a total of 7 cases for your consideration today, and it's my understanding that this board prefers for the complaint summaries to be read into the record. Is that correct?
I think it just happened that way.
Okay. Well, different boards do it different ways. I'm happy to do it whichever way you guys like. Complaint number 1.
The way we have done it is you go through the cases. If there's any we object to, we ask that would be pulled.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, we vote on them, all of them at the end.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. Complaint number 1, First license obtained October 4th, 2005. License expires 9/30 of 2013. The complaint number for this one is 2010-034-761. For this complaint, the board previously authorized a formal hearing against the respondent for operating a shop on an expired shop license. A formal hearing was set for this matter on July 13th of 2012. However, according to our litigation counsel, the respondent was unable to be served with a copy of the notice of hearing and charges. Further investigation revealed that the respondent, owner of the shop, is incarcerated by the United States Immigration Service on an immigration hold and is unlikely to be released at any time in the near future. Based on the current legal situation and incarceration, it's the recommendation that this matter, this current complaint, be closed and dismissed without prejudice, which means that at some point in the future, if this person gets out and wants to come back before the board, then the board can reassess the issues set forth in the complaint at that time, and this licensing file will be noted accordingly with the board's decision. All right, hearing no questions, we'll move to complaint number 2. That's complaint number 2012-025-281. First license obtained 3/11 of 1997. License expires March 31st, 2015. This complaint alleges that the respondent did not complete the educational requirements to become a licensed barber in Tennessee and that he obtained his license by fraud. The board's records indicate that the respondent did obtain a valid license by reciprocity and that there is no evidence to support either of the allegations in the complaint, and on that basis the recommendation will be for the complaint to be dismissed. Moving to complaint number 3. Complaint number 2013-00-1561. First license obtained 1/21 of 2009. License expiration March 31st of 2013. The notice of violation alleges that an individual working at the respondent's shop was cutting hair without a valid license, and that that same individual had a barber license registered to someone else at his station while cutting hair. The recommendation is to authorize a formal hearing with authority to settle by consent order upon payment of a $500 civil penalty. Moving to complaint number 4, complaint number 2013-00-1731. License first obtained 1/29 of 13. License expiration January 31st, 2015. The notice of violation alleges that the area inspector observed the shop was open for business and 2 individuals were practicing on clients in the shop without a valid board-issued shop license. Board records indicate that the shop has now been licensed. Recommendation is to authorize formal hearing with authority to settle by consent order upon payment of a $500 civil penalty for the unlicensed practice. Moving to complaint number 5, complaint number 2013-00-1741. There is no license information, so it's not applicable. The notice of violation alleges that an inspector observed the owner of the respondent shop cutting a client's hair with an expired master barber's license and without a valid board-issued shop license. Board records indicate that no applications to license the shop or to renew the owner's license have been received as of the date of this report. The recommendation is to issue a cease and desist advisory notice with a request the inspector follow up in 30 days to determine whether any efforts have been made to obtain the required licenses. Complaint number 6, also no applicable license information. Complaint number 2013-00-1771. Notice of violation alleges the area inspector observed 2 individuals servicing clients with a haircut in an unlicensed barber shop, and that one of those individuals could not provide proof of a valid barber license. Board office records indicate that an application to license the shop was received on 12/17/2012, and the application is still pending as of the date of this report. Our recommendation is to authorize formal hearing with authority to settle by consent order upon payment of a $500 civil penalty. And then number 7, the last complaint. The complaint number is 2013-00-3301. License first obtained 4/8 of 1992. License expired on September 30th, 2007. The respondent was previously issued a notice of violation on April 12, 2011 for changing the shop's location without first submitting an application for inspection and approval of the new location. Board records indicated that the shop was closed for business, and based upon that information, the board decided to close and flag this file at its February 2012 meeting. Although the owner of the respondent shop has renewed his Master Barber's license since the last notice of violation, board records indicate that the respondent shop still has not submitted the required application for inspection and approval of the new shop location. Recommendation is to authorize a formal hearing with authority to settle by consent order upon payment of a $500 civil penalty, and the consent order to include a provision stating that the respondent must complete and submit to the board an application for inspection and approval of the new location no later than 30 days from the date of the consent order. Mr. Chairman, that concludes my legal report, and I'm happy to take any questions, and if there are none, we'll entertain a motion.
Okay, you've heard the report, now we need a motion.
Wait, before we make the motion, this young man didn't have a barber shop and had someone else's license he was using, and it wasn't his license. And now I know the fine is for him, but what about the shop owner, that allows things like that? What about
If I may, 1 second to file.
seems as though the shop owner should be in some kind of violation for allowing this? And a fine.
The complaint itself is open against the shop. That's who the respondent is. It's not the fine would be assessed against the shop license for allowing this to go on.
Sorry, would you move your mic just a little bit? There we go.
Number 4,
Thank you.
two barbers operating without license.
Test. If I have your attention, please, the fire alarm sprinkler people will be working on the fire alarm system today. So if you hear the fire alarm disregarded, we will inform you if it is a true emergency in the building. Please disregard the fire alarm system and the sprinklers. If you hear the horns, the contractors are working on the sprinkler system in the building. So disregard the alarm. We will let you know when our work is completed and the fire alarm system is back in normal working condition. Thank you.
My apologies for that interruption. Our building is under renovation, so that's very common these days.
All right, I'm sorry, can you please repeat your question?
I was
announcement threw me off.
concerned about how many barbers was operating in that shop without license, and if it was a shop owner or just two barbers working in the shop without license.
According to the file, obviously the owner does have a license and did go to the work and effort of getting the shop licensed and now does possess a valid license, but it's at least it's up to the board what you wish to do with that. But just because someone gets a license doesn't necessarily cure the unlicensed conduct before they got the license. So that's why would authorize a civil penalty here, and that would make clear to the new licensee, hey, look, it's not acceptable for you to have unlicensed shop people here, and this is your first go around with the unlicensed conduct, but if you have people in here working who shouldn't be, it's probably going to be worse next time in terms of penalties. So this is, I mean, at least based on a cursory review of the board's prior precedent in terms of assessing civil penalties, this seems to be right within the range for first offenses. So I'm certainly not wedded to this recommendation. If the board feels that a lower or higher civil penalty or even something like a letter of warning would be appropriate, I'm fine to change the report, but if not, then keep it the way it is.
All right, I'm not for just warning when somebody violated. And if a shop owner is allowing at least 2 people operating in the shop, he should know that he's violating by letting them work in the shop with him. So I feel that the shop owner, if he's a master barber, he's responsible for those people working for him. And so I feel like it should be a little bit stiffer penalty for 2 people. He's allowing 2 people to work in there. And in other words, as far as I'm concerned, all 3 of them are violating. He's allowing them to work there.
That's right.
Well, then if I may,
I'm looking
Matt,
at maybe
one moment
at
to
least
confirm.
$750 at least.
Each person that's barbering.
apologies. Mr. William here, he helps us on cases in the preparation of the legal report. He wanted to clarify for me that the violation really was doing business at all without any kind of license. Now, the board, without a shop license, I'm sorry. Under the rules, the board has statutory authority from $0 to $1,000 for civil penalty per violation that can be proved. And so if the board is inclined to go higher than 500, you've got a little bit of leeway on that. But that's certainly up to the board.
Yeah, I just want to know, was it the shop license current, or was it outdated also? Or was the operators, did they have any master license or whatever?
The master barber there did have a valid license at the time. He just did not have a shop license.
Operators, the ones that was cutting hair, were they licensed?
The inspector did not see proof of a valid license, but where we are with what we have in the file, if we had to go to formal hearing, I'm not sure it could be proven. So, but just the fact that no license was there readily available doesn't necessarily mean that there wasn't one. But when it comes to these complaint matters, we try to stick to what we actually have evidence of, and if we had to go to trial on it, we could prove it. And that's why we have limited it to what we have on the practicing without a shop license issue.
But the inspector actually caught these 2 people doing barbering, didn't he?
But then, according to the notice of violation, he didn't write down, I guess, who the people were, so we don't know whether they were licensed or not.
That's right.
He simply stated that there were individuals in the shop cutting hair to show the violation that the shop was open without a shop license.
So it's,
Okay, if he had got the names of the 2 parties, we'd be in
we'd be
a
able
better
to tell if they were
situation, yes.
licensed or not.
Might encourage the inspectors under those situations
I don't
to
see
write names down.
I don't see no reason why we have to have the name of the 2 that was violating. The owner of the shop should be responsible for it all. Because
They
he
are.
allowed
They
it.
are.
He allowed it.
Yeah.
and that's why we're sticking with the operating a shop without a license allegation and not
And you can change the
proceeding
fine.
further with allegations of the individual people not having license, because we don't 100% know that for sure. but we do know, based on the notice of violation, that the shop was open for business, there was hair being cut there, and there was no shop license. So that's what we're going with.
Only thing you're dealing with violation of a shop.
That's right. Yes, sir.
And the fine, do you want to leave it at 5 or increase it or what?
The inspector caught them. They was cutting hair when the inspector went in, right? Is that correct? So we got more than just a shop violation. Shop permit.
Oh, we,
They don't have to know who they are.
They don't have
The
to know.
inspector saw them cutting
Hair. The inspector called them cutting hair. The owner of the shop know that if any employee, they have to have a license posted on the wall. Let's face reality. Evidently, they didn't have. They was unlicensed, and he was allowing it.
As I mentioned earlier, we do have range of $0 to $1,000 for civil penalty for what we have in front of us. So, if the board would like to increase that 500 somewhat, then that's certainly up to the board.
Of the inspector.
Our recommendation that the inspector pay these folks a visit within 30 days to make sure that everyone who is working there does have a license?
Yes.
Okay, can do that.
Do you need a motion on that change?
I do.
Okay, we need a motion. Joe, put that in a motion.
I move that the fine would be $750. $750 fine, and the inspector will return and re-inspect and check on it.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Yes, sir.
We have a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If there are no other questions.
There is one, excuse me.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Looking at number 2, and this is something that I have been really concerned about. I'm sure the other board members have been concerned about as well, about the fraudulent appearance of license. I'm reading the question, and I know it's the complaint alleges, so obviously there's no proof. But I really like for the board if we could begin to think on ways of how we can prevent fraudulent license. Maybe we can put some type of bar where they can be scanned when the inspector go by. But this is a problem that's been coming up quite frequently. I know we have no proof. I'm reading the complaint. And then this person was able to get reciprocity. I'm just concerned about just how much of this is really going on in the state. And if there's something that we can do in terms of the board, our legal department, maybe we can come up with ways, or maybe we can kind of stop this. Because I'm looking at a lot of students out there now. I'm sure that's going to school and doing it right. There are some individuals out there that's probably having some invalid license, fraudulent license, is working in these salons. And the license look almost original. And if we could come up with ways of trying to alleviate that, I think that would be something we can do. I just hate that we have no proof on that, because I like to nail them to the wall. We have no proof that this person have these fraudulent licenses. Is that correct? Because the question reads alleges it. The complaint alleges that.
This complaint was a consumer complaint alleging that the consumer overheard a conversation
Yeah.
where someone was allegedly stating that they obtained their license by fraud, but
Yeah.
The board is bound to go by what its records show, and in this
Right.
case, it shows that this individual did do what was supposed to be done to get the
Yeah.
license, and that's why the recommendation for dismissal. One thing I would point out to the board, at least if I understand it correctly in my limited dealings with the inspectors so far, is that the licenses themselves are issued with a security watermark of some kind.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
So, I mean, it's harder than it would be without the watermark to do it.
Yeah.
And also, the license numbers are only a certain amount of numbers. So,
I'm sure our inspectors are appraised of the watermarks and the numbers and all, so they can, when they look at a license, they can at least have certain information provided by the paper itself, you know.
That's correct, and they also have access to the same database that the public has access to. When they come in and look and think a license looks a little bit sketchy, for lack of a better word,
Yeah.
then they can take down the number and the person's name, and then they can type it into the license verification system, which you can access from the Barber Board website. And if it comes up as no records found or something like that, then it definitely requires additional looking into, and is usually a pretty strong indicator that there's not a license or that there may be something else going on.
Maybe we could, if we see an indication of more fraud, alert the inspectors to check the license, maybe a little more careful or something.
I'm sure our inspectors are aware of this.
Yeah.
I mean, they are.
They absolutely
Okay,
are.
good. That's as long as
They have an awful lot to do,
I know,
and it's,
I know.
and every time we ask them to do something
I know.
else, it just multiplies.
And not having been with the program any longer than I have, I couldn't even begin to speculate on a percentage or how often, but I am aware that inspectors do spot checks of licenses
That's
during
good.
the course of their regular inspections. You know, if there are 3 barbers in a shop, they'll just pick one at random, go check their license, look for the watermark, look at the license number, plug it in, make sure it's what it's supposed to be, and I think those spot checks can go a long way towards cutting down on that, because if the shop owners know that not only themselves but also the people that they employ could be subject to those it's like random drug testing almost at any time, then
I believe we need a motion on the legal report now.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the legal report as we have it,
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
With the exception of.
with the exception of the changes from board member Mr. Joe.
Second it?
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say yes.
Yes.
Any noes? The motion's carried.
all right.
Next will be other business. Do we have any other business?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we do have one more matter that requires a vote from the board. We don't have any paperwork that goes with it right now because it's still being worked on, but the testing contract with PSI for the barber exam, it appears that there's going to be some amendments that need to be made to it. The 2 chief amendments are we're going to need to extend it by 1 year, which is allowable under the terms of the contract itself, and it will allow us not to have to go through the whole request for proposal process again by doing it that way. And also, similar to a change the cosmetology board has made regarding PSI accepting the license application materials as opposed to the state board staff, which is the way it is now. That would be the proposed change to allow for PSI to get all of the application materials so that they can confirm that the applicant is qualified and has all the documentation necessary to take the test, something that would save the state some time and labor and money, and would not incur any additional cost to the board, as I believe PSI would agree to do this and not have to go through the contract process or any additional money or anything of that nature. So,
You need a motion?
yes, I do.
Okay. We need a motion to approve the extension of the contract.
Extension amendment.
Right.
Yeah, and the amendment.
I'd like to make a motion that we extend our contract with PSI testing.
Does that include the amendment that Mr. Whitaker just discussed?
Beg your pardon?
Well, we need a motion both to extend the contract and to accept the extension with the amendment that he just discussed.
Okay, I will extend both and accept.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
A second?
We have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. The motion carries. Sounds like somebody's taking a shower. We can't hardly hear up here.
I do apologize. I do not know what that is. Again, there's lots of construction going on in this building. There's 4 floors currently being renovated. So I do have 2 other items.
Okay.
The first being as this is your first meeting of the year, we do need you to adopt Robert's rules for the current year. So we'll need a motion and a vote.
We need a motion on adopting Robert's rules.
I move that we accept, we adopt Robert rules.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a second.
That's
What?
parliamentary procedures.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah.
Rules,
Thank
not his
you.
last name.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
I think you're talking about a person or something.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
rules,
you.
not his last name. Okay, we
Just-
have a motion. Do we have a second?
Just to clarify, Mr. Jones, you
Yes,
made the motion,
a
and
motion.
Mr. High, you seconded?
I second.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Motion carried.
The final item is, in front of you, you have your annual conflict of interest statements. If you could sign those and hand those to myself or Betty DeMumbrium, which I will take this opportunity to introduce Ms. DeMumbrium. She is a member of the staff, Barber and Cosmetology staff, and she will become a familiar face. She will be attending the meetings, helping us.
Okay,
So-
we don't need a motion as to whether we want to or don't want to.
Of course you want to.
Okay.
Betty is very, very helpful, and she can help you with your iPads, any of your paperwork. She'll be providing you with your travel claims information and any other administrative documents.
You're either going to have to give me a lesson or pay the electric bill on this one. It don't work good. He keeps going off. I think Joe's probably messed it up.
Mine the same way. I messed it both of them up.
Okay.
We just sign this and then just print down here.
Are we down to the final
Yes, sir.
adjournment?
Yes, sir. We will entertain.
Oh, first, we've got a lot of people in the audience. Are you all from one area, one school, or one shop or something? Do we have a spokesman? Oh, that's great.
All right.
Okay.
Very good. Congratulations.
Well, we appreciate you attending the Barber Board meeting. Feel free to come back at any time. And if there's no further work to be done, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. With the lack of a motion,
I'd like to that we adjourn.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second it.
We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.